In this video, we're going to go through on Tong School Primary 5 Mathematics 2025 Term 1 Review. If you want to find more of this kind of exam papers, you can go to easy1.sg/SG exam to find out more. So let's get started on the first question. Question 1. What is the value of the digit 6 in 964,701? So in this case, 9 over here is 900,000 and 6 is equal to 60,000 and 4 is equal to 4,000 and then 700 and then after that 1 is just 1. So the answer to this is 60,000. Okay, there you go. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. Find the value of 78,000 divided by 300. Okay, so in this case we can just have it like this. So 78,000, we can just cancel the two zeros, so it will be 780 divided by 3. Okay, so 78 divided by 3, this will then give us, if I'm not wrong, 26, 0. That's what you see over here. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Question 3, find the value of 4 minus 7, 11. So 4 minus 7 out of 11, this will then be just as simple as 3, and then plus 1 minus 7 out of 11. So 1 minus 7 out of 11, so 3, and then plus, this would be 4 out of 11, which is essentially just 3, 4 out of 11. Okay, that's it. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Question number 4. Round 89,494 to the nearest 1,000. So to round to nearest 1,000, we need to look at one place before the 1,000 place, which is the hundreds place. So hundreds place is 4. Since 4 is not 5 or more, then we just round, which then be equal to 89,000. If you round to the nearest 1,000, which would then be 89,000, not 90,000. So the answer is 89,000. Okay, there you go. So that's the answer. Let's move on to question number 5. Question 5. Find the value of 7 over 9 times 72. So 7 over 9 times 72 is the same as 7 over 9 times 72 out of 1. So that means 7 over 9 will be 7 over 1 times 8. In this case, this will be 56, right? Okay, there you go. So the answer is 56. Pretty straightforward. Let's move on to the next question. Question 6. What is the value of 42 plus bracket 56 minus 8 times 4 divided by 6? So in this case, this is the order of operations. Okay, so first we need to start with brackets. Then after that, we will then have multiply or divide. And lastly is add or subtract. Okay, in this case over here, add or subtract. So first is we need to start with the brackets in this case. So in the brackets, we will then do either multiply or divide first. So in this case, we will multiply. So 32. Then we still need to continue with the bracket. So 56 minus 32 will then be equal to 24. Then from here, we will just have 24 divided by 6. And this gives us 4. Alright, so this will be 42 plus 4 equal to 46. So I see over here. Okay, there you go. So that's the answer, 46. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Question 7. 9 liters of orange juice was poured equally into 12 bottles. How much orange juice was poured into each bottle? Give your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. So in each bottle, okay, it's basically 9 liters and then divided by 12. It's basically 9 out of 12. And then we need to do in simplest form, we divide by 3 in each side. And numerator and denominator, it will be 3 out of 4 liters. Okay, so in this case, the answer is 3 out of 4 liters. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Question 8. Express 2 out of 7 as a decimal, correct to the 2 decimal place. So in this case, we need to do workings. So we look something like this. Alright, so first is we cannot divide 2 with 7, so we'll put 0 over here. Okay, then after that, we'll put a point, dot, or decimal place, dot. Okay, 0. Then after that, we'll put a 0 like this. Okay, then we will minus to not 21 but 14. So minus 1.4, and this will give us 0.2. Okay, pretty straightforward. Then after that, we'll just 20 minus 14, this will give us 6. Okay, so this will be 6. And then correct 2 decimal place. So when it says correct to 2 decimal place, that means we need to get the 3 decimal place and see if we can round it. Okay, so from here, from 6, we'll put 60. So we minus 56. So 56 is 8 times 7. So I'm going to put 8 here. Then 60 minus 56. And then this will give us 4. Put 4, 0. So I'll just put a line as well as over here. So 40 minus, this will then be 35. Okay, so it will be 285. And then dot, dot, dot. Okay, so we just stop here. That's what I see over here. Okay, so once we have this, so 2 divided by 7 is equal to 0.285 dot, dot, dot. And then we round it. This should be 0.29. That's what you see over here. Okay, so the answer is 0.29. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 9. Devi had 58 kg of sugar. She used 4/5 of it to make some dessert. What was the mass of the sugar that she used? Give your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. So total is equal to 5/8 kg. So when it says here she used 4/5 of it, okay, so this means that 5/8 times, 4/5 times total, which in this case 4/5 times 5/8. Okay, 5/8. Wait, 5/8. That means it's 4/8, and then that means this is half. Okay, half kg. So what was the mass of sugar that she used? So she used 4/5 of it, means half kg. Okay, there you go. So that's the answer, half kg. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Question 10. Mrs. Tan baked 505 muffins. She sold 125 muffins in the morning and 2/5 of the muffins in the afternoon. How many muffins did she sell all together? So in the morning, she sold 1 to 5 muffins and 2/5 in the afternoon. So afternoon, she sold 2/5 of the muffins. Okay, so that means, let me put here total. Let's go to 505 muffins. So afternoon is basically saying 2/5 of the muffins, which is basically the same as 2 out of 5 times 505. So that is 2 times 505 divided by 5. Yeah, it's not times, huh? So 505, basically it's 2 times 101, which is 202. So that means total sold is equal to 202 plus 101. 202 plus 125, which is 327. Okay, so that's the answer to this question, 327. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Question 11. Mr. Lee spent 4/9 of his salary on the food and 3/10 of the remainder on the transport. He then saved the rest of his salary. Mr. Lee spent $56 more on the food than the amount he saved. How much was Mr. Lee's salary? So in this case, we're going to use the remainder concept. So if you want to find out more, go to easy1.sg/blog. Alright, we'll look something like this. So it's your salary, 4/9 of the food, remainder, and then what we saved from the remainder and 3/10 of the remainder as transport. Okay, so in this case, we actually can calculate the remainder. So for the remainder, it will be 1 minus 4/9. This will give us 5/9, okay, of the total. So for this remainder, we will just put 5/9 for the remainder. Okay, so now we know what's the fraction for the remainder. The next thing is, we know that he spent $56 more on the food than the amount he saved. So for the amount he saved, from remainder, it's basically 1 minus 3 out of 10, and this gives us 7 out of 10. Okay, so that means this over here, he saved 7 out of 10 from the remaining. Okay, so saved the rest of his salary, 7 out of 10. So we want to know the saved of total, which in this case is 7 out of 10 times 5/9. Okay, so saved of total is basically saved of remainder minus remainder. Okay, so remainder in this case. Alright, so that means 7 out of 10 times 5/9. This would then be equal to 7 out of 18. Okay, So in this case, he spent $56 more on food than the amount he saved. So that means $56 is equal to food minus saved, right? So for $56, so in this case, 4 over 9 minus 7 over 18 is equal to 8 over 18 minus 7 over 18. This will give us 1 over 18. Okay, so that means this is the difference of food and saved in fractions, okay, which is this one. Okay, and we also know that the difference of food and saved, okay, in dollars is equal to $56. So that means 118 of total is equal to $56. That means the total 18 out 18 of total, which is the salary, is basically 18 times 56, and this will give us, let me calculate, $1,008. So I see over here. Okay, there you go. So his total salary is $1,008. Let's move on to the next question. Question 12. Anne, Ben, and Kara had some money. Anne and Ben had $2,661. Ben and Kara had $5,874. Kara had 4 times as much money as Anne. How much money did Ben have? So, okay, we're going to draw a model. We look something like this. We have Ben plus Anne, which is $2,661, and Ben and Kara is $5,874. So we also know that Ben is the same person. So this is what we call, in a way, what they call this, repeated identity, right? So I'm going to put Ben as pink. I don't know why, but I'm just going to put Ben as pink, right? Ben and Ben. And then we have Kara has 4 times, right? So in this case, I'm going to put this as 4 units, okay? And Kara has 4, and then Anne has 1. So I'm going to do this as well. This will be 1. So I think we can safely see what we can do next, right? So we can just get the difference, the difference between these two, okay? So essentially 1 unit and 4 units. Okay, I'm just going to put it like this so it's easier to see over here. Okay, so that means 3 units is equal to 5,874 minus 2,661 minus 2,661, okay? And this will give us 3213, okay? Then we will just get 1 unit. So 1 unit is 3213 divided by 3. This gives us $1,071. So how much did Ben have? So we can just say Ben is equal to 2661 minus N is 1 unit, 1071, and this gives us 1590. Okay, there you go. So that's your answer. The answer is $1,590. Alright, let's move on to the last question. Question 13. There were 1,320 marbles in box A. Box A had 720 more marbles than box B. Some more marbles were moved. Question 13. There were 1,320 marbles in box A. Box A had 720 more marbles than box B. Some marbles were moved from box A to box B. Box B then had 5 times as many as box A. How many marbles were moved from box A to box B? Alright, so we can draw the models first. So we know that box A had 720 more marbles than box B, and we know box A has 1,320 lah. So for this case, box B at first will be 1320 minus 720, and this will give us 600. Okay, so we also know that at the end, right, box B has 5 units, and then at the end, box A has 1 unit. Okay, so that means, okay, we first also want to get total, right? So box A at first has 1320. So total is equal to 1320 plus 600, and this gives us 1920. Okay, so that means at total units at the end is equal to, in this case, 5 plus 1 equal to 6 units. So that means 6 units is equal to 1920. So 1 unit is equal to 1920 divided by 6. This is us 320. So now we want to know how many marbles were moved from box A to box B. So we know that in the end, box A has 1 unit, and box A at first. So alright, here box A at first had 1320. box A at the end is 1 unit is equal to 320. So marbles moved is 1320 minus 320 equal to 1000. So the answer is perfect 1000. Alright, that's it for this. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more of this kind of videos, subscribe down below and comment down what other things you want me to show you next. See you in the next one. Bye bye.